I can't shake a feeling. We know this man from somewhere.
Yeah, we do.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Blacklist Season 10 Episode 7 review, The Freelancer, Part 2. Warning, spoilers ahead, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. With each new episode, the end is approaching more and more. Woojing used the Freelancer's skills on the Blacklist Season 10 Episode 7 to track down and forge a connection between Raymond and the task force. Woojing had two ways to demonstrate Raymond's affiliation with the FBI. The first step is to track down official records that back up the assertion, and the second is to locate physical proof. He appears to have taken Robert's advice not to try to hack into a secure FBI site and instead to go the far more time-consuming route of gathering evidence. It is unknown if he will use this tactic, which will take time and resources, or if he will revert to his original strategy. The Freelancer's return didn't seem as momentous as Dr. Perillo's did. We experienced Perillo's through her. We got to witness her in action and, to some extent, follow that through. Every time the Freelancer started something, he would either be interrupted or we would see the results on the news, which left the Freelancer feeling a little anticlimactic. If we could have seen the ship sink or the building fall, it would have been more dramatic. Wanting catastrophes to occur may sound a little morbid, but it would have made for compelling television. The fact that the Freelancer could fight was the only thing they had going for him. He could have been written off as a wimpy kind of man, but he also had some muscle. It was no small achievement to hold two FBI agents at bay. Since this wasn't sufficient, it's uncertain if we will witness the Freelancer's finale. Even though it would never be enough to atone for his sins, he needed to die a horrible death. This Blacklist Season 10 episode, like the last several, gave the impression that the end was actually drawing near. Raymond experienced it to the same extent that we did. Robert's was the most recent, and perhaps that was too genuine for him. Elizabeth's passing came as a huge shock, but it must have seemed strange. She was a young woman with a bright future. I sometimes believe that he dreams that one day he will awaken and that everything will have been a horrible nightmare that he can't wait to leave behind. One of his last remaining pals his age was Robert. He knew exactly where he stood with Robert at all times. Now that he was gone, it appeared as though he would soon pass away. And death has been brought up frequently, whether in somber conversations between characters or in the frequently used network promos. He is aware of the fact that he has played a huge part in the deaths of people close to him. Robert's was the most recent, and perhaps that was too genuine for him. Elizabeth's passing came as a huge shock, but it must have seemed strange. She was a young woman with a bright future. I sometimes believe that he dreams that one day he will awaken and that everything will have been a horrible nightmare that he can't wait to leave behind. One of his last remaining pals his age was Robert. He knew exactly where he stood with Robert at all times. Now that he was gone, it appeared as though he would soon pass away. Additionally, there has been a persistent reference to death, whether it be in somber conversations between characters or in the network's frequently used promo. It seems as though Raymond's only option for stopping this domino effect is to pass away. It resembles an endless fork in the road where taking one way opens up another three. When all roads lead to death and devastation, it might feel repetitive and overwhelming. The only way out is to end it all. Death does that better than anything else. But Raymond was alive before he died, assuming that he did. Raymond would never have allowed himself to spend a few days somewhere if he hadn't made sure it was secure a week before and a week after his arrival. He was so desperate that he spent those few days living with the household. The one thing he never quite seemed to hold on to was his desperate search for a human connection. If they don't pass away, someone close to them either leaves or betrays him. He noticed that he was becoming less and less necessary as time went on. If Rogelio had taken him up on his investment offer, it would have given him a sense of meaning or purpose. Even Agnes appeared to be adjusting to life without him nicely. She had happy parents, which is all a youngster could want. He had secretly hoped to seize her and make her his top priority, but as he has discovered, she is not in need of him, and he is not a suitable fit for her. For Ressler, there are many problems with obvious solutions, but his addiction was the most upsetting aspect of his existence. It was the one thing over which he had no control, and there was nothing he could do to avoid it. It's difficult to stay sober for a year, and it was like a summons to him when he watched someone else dealing with the same thing he had been. That man obviously needed assistance, and he enjoys helping others. Although he was hesitant because sobriety is the one thing he cannot control, he was prepared to take a chance. Although the Freelancer PT2 didn't blow me away with how it handled the Blacklister, it went deeper into Raymond's life and what impact those events would have on his future. Herbie having attended the post office added to the comedy. Who knew the man was funny even without the gimmick from his daughter? Even before, there was a vibe between him and Sia. Have you seen it yet? Please share your thoughts about the episode in the comments. We would love to hear them. We